Excuse me, I'm making a couple of settings. Okay. This is the Ramana Maharshi Satsang, a time to listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself and be always free and at peace. Welcome. I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. I just love this teaching, so want to share it. I'm commenting on the book Talks with Sri Raman Maharshi. This week is Talk 183. But first, before we have the talk, I'm going to share a video that I downloaded today. This is the end of Kartagai Deepam in Tiruvannamalai. Our friend Evelyn is there now, and this is a video a short video of Deepam made by an Indian friend of ours, Saran Dakshinamurti. So, and I thought you'd enjoy it.
ஒளி ஒளி இருந்தா கண்ணுக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் தெரியும். ஆனா ஒளியே இல்லைனாலும் தரிசனம் இருக்கும். தெரியுதா?
Today, I'm going to talk about talk number 183, and let me get it on screen. A gentleman from Bombay said, I asked Mother in Sri Aurobindo Ashram the following question. I keep my mind blank without thoughts arising so that God might show himself in his true being. But I do not perceive anything. Maharshi's reply was, the attitude is right. The power will come down from above. It is a direct experience. So the gentleman asked further what he should do. And Maharshi says, be what you are. There is nothing to come down or become manifest. All that is needful is to lose the ego. That what is always there. Even now, you are that. You are not apart from it. The blank is seen by you. You are there to see the blank. What do you wait for? The thought I have not seen, the expectation to see, and the desire of getting something, all are of the working of the ego. You have fallen into the snares of the ego. The ego says all of these, and not you. Be yourself and nothing more. The gentleman from Bombay asked a question of Sri Ramana Maharshi, saying that he practices keeping his mind blank to allow God to reveal himself in his true being. However, he admits to not perceiving anything in this state. Ramana acknowledges the correctness of the attitude and assures him that the divine power will come as direct experience. Seeking further guidance, the gentleman asks what more he should do. At this point, Ramana offers his profound wisdom and tells him several key points for practice. First is be what you are. This concise instruction encapsulates the core of Ramana's teachings. It directs you to move beyond striving for experiences and realization and to simply abide in your true nature as you already are. There's no need to become something else, to be transformed, or to wait for something else. The emphasis is on recognizing the inherent truth of your being here and now. All you need to do is to be what you already are. Next, Ramana says, there is nothing to come down or become manifest. Ramana emphasizes the non-dual nature of reality, that the divine is not something external that needs to descend from above. Instead, it's a realization of the eternal truth that is already present within you, waiting to be recognized. I love this about the teaching, that there is nothing else that I need. It is about who and what I am already. Then Ramana says, as the key to practice, all that is needful is to lose the ego. Ramana points to the obstacle hindering the direct experience of the self, which is the ego. As long as the ego is active, everything we see is colored by its tendencies. We're encouraged to transcend the egoic tendencies of expectation, desire, and the sense of lack. By letting go of the ego, you unveil the true self that is already present. Continuing, Ramana says, what is always there. Even now, you are that. Ramana underscores the timeless nature of reality, the ultimate truth that is ever present, irrespective of your mental state or experience. The recognition of that is not a future attainment, but a realization of the present reality, here and now. And Ramana says, you are not apart from it. The blank is seen by you. Now, Ramana guides us to understand the relationship between the observer and the observed. The blank state, observed in deep meditation, is acknowledged, but it's emphasized that the blank is known. The blank is perceived by you, by the true self. You are the knower and never the known. This distinction is crucial in recognizing the unchanging being and consciousness amidst all the changing mental states. Then Ramana says, what do you wait for? Ramana addresses the common pitfall of spiritual seekers, the tendency to wait for some future realization. By posing this question, Ramana challenges you to examine the source of your expectations and impatience. He encourages a shift to focus on the present moment. Realization is present and not far away. You just need to open to the reality that is already there. What's in the way? Just ideas and vasanas, tendencies. Ramana continues, the thought I have not seen, the expectations to see, and the desire of getting something, all are the working of the ego. Ramana identifies the working of the ego that hinders the direct experience. The ego sees its ideas of self in others. This view leads to the idea that there is something else that is desirable out there. These ideas become vasanas, tendencies. These tendencies all are in the way of realization. You are prompted to investigate these egoic tendencies and understand how they create barriers to the realization of the true self, and that they are not really based on your true identity. They are just ideas that are in the way. They are just ideas of finding lasting happiness in the ever changing world. Where does lasting happiness actually come from? Not from the world. And Maharshi says, you've fallen into the snares of the ego. The ego says all these, and not you. Ramana makes a clear distinction between the true self and the ego. These thoughts and desires are products of the egoic mind, not reflective of your authentic self. This distinction is crucial for disentangling from egoic traps. Finally, Ramana says, be yourself and nothing more. This final statement expresses the essence of the teaching. Ramana urges you to strip away all complexities, identifications, and desires, and simply rest in the purity of your true being. This is profound in its simplicity. Just be yourself, unencumbered by the illusions of ego. Be yourself. What else can you be? What's the alternative? This dialogue provides a path for spiritual seekers, guiding you and inviting you to shift from seeking outside yourself and waiting for something to happen, to change to a direct and immediate realization of the timeless truth of your identity that is already present, that is who you are now and have always been. Ramana Maharshi's teachings emphasize the importance of self-inquiry, the recognition of the ego's snares, and the simplicity of being oneself to experience the direct revelation of the divine. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. And now we'll have a video from Nome, Abide as the Self.
The self is absolute existence that is without beginning and without end, utterly undifferentiated. This existence is illimitable. If the self is realized as such, that which knows and that which is known are one and the same thing. Existence knows itself with sense transcendent, mind transcendent knowledge. If the self is not known, that which does not know actually does not exist. The self cannot harbor any ignorance regarding itself, being of the nature of knowledge or consciousness itself. Another, the non-self, how could that ever know the self? And as the self is existence, the non-knower would be non-existent. Sri Bhagavan, Ribhu, and others exhort those who would be wise to abide as the self. What does it mean? Certainly there are not two selves that one would abide as or realize the other. The self is only one. It implies an absence of misidentification, which alone constitutes ignorance. Ignorance in turn alone constitutes bondage and is the root cause of all suffering. To be free of such, abide as the self. What does it mean? It means knowledge, bereft of ignorance, devoid of misidentification. It is a matter of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, not mere sensations and not mere thinking, but knowledge. For this knowledge, inquire within yourself to know the nature of your existence, the nature of the innermost consciousness. Abandoning any tendency to misidentify with the body, which is most certainly not the self. Inquire as to the true significance of I. That which you truly are, what is your very existence, is always. So inquire to find that which ever exists within you. It cannot be anything objective, subtle or gross, thought or sensation, for these are all perceived to come and go. Moreover, they're unreal. Their coming and going and their transience is not the definition of their unreality, but it is indicative of it. What are you? What are you always? Your existence is unchanged by the states, activities, and conditions and such of the body. What is this existence? Your existence remains unchanged through the passage of various states and conditions of the mind, such as waking, dreaming, and deep dreamless sleep. What is that existence? To clearly identify yourself as the existence alone and not the content of the mind and its states, and not the body and the content of the sensations with their attributes, is the dawning of knowledge, true knowledge, self-knowledge. For such knowledge, inquire, who am I? The nature of the inquirer alone is the answer. Know yourself. That is the infinite and eternal existence. That is Brahman. That is the self. The only self there actually is. So then, if you know yourself, the absolute reality comprehends itself. If you suppose that you do not know the self, who is it that does not know? Like this, making your vision non-objective, inquire to know who you are.
And now we're going to take a few minutes and inquire ourselves. You exist. Notice that you exist, and you know that you exist. Now, inquire, investigate within yourself. What does it mean being what I am? how do I relate to the ego in my spiritual practice? Can I recognize that the blank that I see in meditation sometimes is perceived by me? The blank is known. Who is the knower? What am I waiting for in my spiritual journey? Who am I? What is the nature of my existence? What exists? All right. And now we close with a chant. Om.
Shanti.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Now, one of the things I was wondering about during the inquiry was wondering about the question, what do I think about the ego? And, I think the ego is, some evil villain is what it feels like, I think. But, what if the ego is the thing that has been supporting me continuing to practice all these years,
Well, yeah, and it's supporting a lot.
What if the ego is my friend instead of the villain? Just wondering.
Yeah, but you do want to kill it, so
I know. I understand.
The ego is like that guest at a wedding that the bride and the bridegroom think is the other one's best
Right,
friend.
right.
When you start to ask questions about it, he's out of here.
Uh-huh.
Start to investigate. And you could thank your ego for all the problems. That's the problem.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I wonder sometimes what if my attitude about the ego and mind are get in the way of letting me use what they're good for.
I remember, I think it was Ram Dass that said he thanked the ego because it always showed him what he needed to learn.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Anyway, it's still precious that they recorded this stuff, these dialogues from Ramana.
Yes. Pure deliciousness.
Yes, yes. And certainly in this one, he was talking about one of the things that I love very much about the teaching, that it's not something far away. It's not something that I have to transform and make myself some other person. It's just kind of more unveiling and recognizing what is already there. And it seems like what is already there is more accessible than something that isn't, you know?
What already is there is the reality, and what isn't is what will never be.
Right, right. And when you truly know that, then you don't need to know anything else.
Right. And what's the use of knowing anything else if you don't know yourself?
That's right. We've heard that.
Heard that before.
Yeah.
And it sure seems true.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, friends. It's always good to get together.
Yeah.
And namaste. We'll see you next week.
Great.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
These videos help bring Ramana Maharshi's teachings into your direct experience. Subscribe now